Welcome to All Waves Considered. Today we'll be interviewing Pat Duncan.
Yeah, this thing's going to work great, I think. It's just like carpentry on foam, basically. I thought it was some kind of magic, really. But then when you start seeing it and you realize, oh, okay, well, it's just a process. It's just like building a house or something, working on a car.
How did you get into carpentry?
I just had that gift when I was, it just came to me naturally, like surfing comes to Yancey. That, that guy's the most naturally gifted surfer I've ever seen, I think.
Yeah, you never know, like nature or nurture, right? Like, is it his genetics or is it the fact that he's been surfing since he's 2 or is it both?
Probably both. It was just when the Lord touched my life and everything changed for me, like radically overnight, literally. I was like, because I knew about God when I was growing up because I was always taken to church, but I didn't really understand that the Lord loved me and that there was it was just I realized that the Lord was chasing after me, just like He is everybody else. But I was running so I was every time the Lord would get close, I would just take off and run, like emotionally or. But I finally got to the point where I couldn't run anymore, and that's when the Lord just finally said, "Here we go now. Okay, we're together. I'm gonna let you see what's up." And a lot of things really got clear to me, like about life in general and how things work, and that's where I come across to everything that I
Your whole
do.
life is viewed through that lens of transformation.
It happened to me when I was 30-ish. I couldn't give you the exact date, but I had hit the wall. I had left Puerto Rico. I was trying to get to Hawaii. Couldn't make it happen. Every time I thought I was close to having everything lined up to go, something nutty would happen and just totally out of my control. And I never made it. All I wanted to do, I just wanted to be one of the guys, man, in Hawaii. I wasn't trying to be like famous or anything like that. I just wanted to go surf big waves and be one of the guys out in the water over there. That's all I could. When it wasn't happening, I started going into this depression, man. I've always been kind of prone to uh, maybe overthinking things,
Yeah.
but when the depression really started kicking in, and I reached the point where I didn't care whether I was alive or dead. It just I was just here, um, and this guy came along that I had known. He was the dad of some kids that I had gone to grade school with, and so I had seen him all my life basically. He came and asked me if I wanted to go to a prayer meeting. I mean, he had talked to me a couple of times, and I would just blow him off. And finally, he kind of nailed me down, and he said, "Would you like to go to a prayer meeting tonight?" And I'm like, "What is a prayer meeting, dude?" He's like, I had no clue. That's how far from the Lord I was. It was just like a basic thing, but I said, "Yes, I'll go." Okay, just let me get back to what I'm doing, and I'll see you later. So I went, and it was these three old dudes. Like I'm their age, what they were, like in their 70s, and I was like 30. So I'm looking at these guys, and I said, "This is the prayer meeting," and he said, "Yeah, here it is." And they started. One of them played the piano, and they started doing some worship songs, and uh, they got done singing, and we sat down. There was just some chairs, and he asked me, "Is it okay if we pray for you?" sure. In my heart, I knew that that's what I needed, but I was so full of pride and arrogance that I never went down that road with anybody. But when I said yes to that, that was like a major step toward the Lord for me. And so I'm just sitting in this chair, and these guys are standing up around me, and they put their hands on my shoulders um, and started praying. And after a minute, I realized I don't understand a thing they're saying. They're speaking in a foreign language that I don't. So I had my head down and my eyes closed, and I kind of looked up and looked at them, and I'm like, what is going on with these guys? And finally, I just like, okay, I'm just whatever. So they prayed over me. They were speaking in tongues, obviously. It was nothing crazy. They were just praying, like speaking in a different language. I really didn't feel any different. I just went to bed and I was like, okay, well, I woke up the next morning and I couldn't speak a sentence without the name of Jesus in it. And it was the weirdest thing. It was just like the Lord had touched me when they were praying over me, and I didn't even realize it. He touched me in a way that completely healed my depression. I woke up and I was like, man, what a beautiful day. I hadn't done that and I couldn't tell you how long before that. And so, like I said, I just couldn't stop talking about the Lord. And everybody that knew me thought I had just lost my mind. And my sisters were going, dude, what is up with you? Yeah. And I'm like, because they knew me better than anybody. I was like, I don't have a clue what's going on. I can't explain it. Uh, so from that point in my life, it's not like everything became perfect, but the depression was like gone. It never came back. I hadn't been surfing in a while, and I couldn't wait to get back in the water. And I was like, I don't. Whatever happened to me, this is the best thing that's ever. This to this point in my life, that was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Don't really remember exactly when the first time I met him, but it was probably out surfing. 07, 08, 09, when we first moved into this building. We used to do a skate church here every Sunday. He used to come and help run that. That's the first encounters I've had with him, and that was good. And then, I got to know him then a little bit, and he had asked about building boards. He had worked in a surfboard factory in Puerto Rico when he was younger and had a little bit of experience. I was at the time doing all the laminating and sanding, and later I've trained a bunch of different people throughout the years and shaped a lot of boards before Rick was here and then after Rick came here and during the whole time. But he had at some point maybe had talked to me about coming in and trying to help out with building boards. Shoot, man, it's been probably 7 or 8 years, maybe. I can't even remember. It was a little rough at first because he hadn't done it in really to the extent that he's doing it now. He hadn't, didn't have that experience. So I worked with him a lot, and Rick worked with him a lot, and he's come a long ways, and now he's gotten a lot better. And it's been a tremendous help for me because I have too many hats to wear here. Helps to take a load off of my back. So I'm super grateful for him, and and he loves doing it. So he's got a passion for it. So it's awesome. Yeah, I don't have anything bad to say about him at all. He's a freaking angel, really.
It's not work to me. It's just like a fun thing to do. So, and I'm trying to get better at it. He'll come in here. He's been doing it for a while, so he knows what he's looking at where a lot of people look at, oh, that's good, man. That thing was great. He'll come in here and go, well, and he'll show me stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't even see that. He says, well, do you see this? And I'm like, yeah, I see it now that you're pointing at it. But that's the kind of stuff I need. That's because he makes me do a better job. And I want to get really good at this. So I'm thankful that he's like that. Him just letting me come in here. And Rick upstairs, he's the shaper. I went up there and I said, man, is it okay if I stand in the door and watch you? He looked at me, this is 4 years ago or so. He just kind of looked over his shoulder and I could see him shaking. I'm waiting to see if he's just going to tell me, no, you can't do that. And he says, who are you now? And I said, my name's Pat. And he said, yeah, you look kind of familiar. He said, you grew up here? And I said, yeah. I said, I haven't always been here, but I grew up here and went to Puerto Rico. I knew he'd gone to Hawaii, and he worked for Steve Walden for a long time. I said, yeah, I went to Puerto Rico, and I was the hot coater down there at one of the places where they made boards and one of the factories. And I met these guys from, I said, you might know this guy. He was from the East Coast, too. And his name's Carl Schaffer. He asked me if I would come hot coat board. He was the glasser at that place. They needed somebody to hot coat. And I said, yeah, because I had made a couple of boards when I was a kid. So I kind of knew. So I went and worked with Carl and Otis. And he said, oh, yeah, you know Carl? And I said, yeah. And he said, he's the last guy that I ever let watch me do the shaping. And I said, Carl, you're the last guy I'm ever going to let in this room with me. And he kind of looked over at me and he said, okay, you can be the last guy. You are the last one that's ever going to come in here and watch me do this. And I'm like, yeah. So thanks to Sean and Rick. And I'm like, man, I get to do this. And it's just like, it's just a blessing to me. It's kind of an expensive blessing because all the stuff that I do in here, I turn the money back over and just get more blanks and just stuff to do the whole process. But so I've only made like, I'd say 75 boards. So I wasn't going to. There was no way that I was going to sell them around here. So I just decided, okay, I'm just going to make them and take them to El Salvador and give them to some kids down there. They'll think they're great. But because they got nothing, man. They got nonstop serve, good serve, and they live on the beach, and they can't get in the water because they can't afford a surfboard. And I'm like, huh. So since we got involved with the church down there about 20 years ago, we were part of Christian Surfers, and we did an outreach down there and met some people. And the church like blossomed from basically, it was just basically a bunch of surfing kids. They were getting saved, and they were just, instead of being crazy, out of control teenagers, they were looked up to in the community. The older people would look at them and go, what is with that kid, man? He's not a nut. He's not just partying and going bananas like all these other kids. And so there was probably 10 or 15 of them when we first showed up. And that number grew as the church grew, and more kids were getting attracted to what was going on with those kids. It was like a revival down there. But so anyway, they were still poor as they could be, just living in tin shacks. And so the guy that was in charge of Christian Surfers down there, he was taking all these kids under his wing. And so eventually I'm like, okay, I'm just going to, when I got back in here and started making boards, I was like, that is where these boards need to go. So I would just make them and get them down there. And so now there's a full-on surf club at the church, and these kids they do their own outreaches now to the community down there.
We love Pat Duncan. He's been a big asset to our surfing tribe.
Walking down the trail, what do I see? What do I see but a honeybee? It says, won't you follow me? I'll show you all you're meant to see. It says, a honeybee. Follow me on the honeybee. Sorry. Walking down the trail, what do I find? What do I find but a muscadine? Little grapes so ripe and sweet, I stop to see and hit the seeds. Oh, says the honeybee. It says to me. Walking down the trail, what do I know? In the shade where the red ferns grow, the hummingbirds dodge to and fro from water sweet as Tupelo. And finding time is ticking slow. Walking down the trail, what do I know? Walking down the trail of sage and pine, old railroads leaking turpentine. Well, this is how I waste my time, and this is how I fill my mind, and this is how I spend my life walking around those lonely pines. Thank y'all.